All right, good morning. I came across town here to check some beans out because Dad thought that we had to replant some, but I don't see an issue here. I'll show you what I think he's talking about. As you can see, the beans look pretty good and healthy to me. Coming up, this is cover crop wheat. It was pretty tall, but the beans look pretty good. I think he's just talking about little, there might be a little wet spot after it rain the size of this. I mean, that's, and then there's another one right there. I mean, that's not something to drag the planter all the way over here for, I don't feel. We'll go let's see what it looks like across the street here. Yeah, I'd say the beans look pretty healthy. I don't think we need to drag it over here for a couple little bare spots. But we'll look at the rest of it, see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I mean, the beans are coming up pretty damn good. You can see them through the wheat stubble. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, they look really good. Here's what I think he's talking about, this little wet spot right here. Of course, that's not that big of a little wet spot. Just they're on each side of it. It's just a little strip right here. But I mean, if I plant them again, who knows if it rains again and we get the same issue. But I think they look damn good. Let's go up here to the farm. Yeah, I think they look fine. Dragging it all the way over here for 3 rows, 10 foot long. I don't think that's what we need to do, honestly. I mean, as you can see, there's soybeans up here, pretty good. So, yep, nope. Another field. They look like they're coming up pretty stout. So, yeah, we'll ride over and check that far side over there. Yeah, they're coming up pretty good. Pretty good. I know you probably can't see it with the camera, or you might be able to, but it's just a couple little bare spots, like right here around the pole. Must have got wet at some point, that little spot right there. But the overall picture looks good. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, see all them beans in them rows? All the way down. I mean, the end rows look really good. There's just a couple spots that aren't perfect, but I think overall it's good. Alright, so I'm out here in the cornfield today by the shop. This was the second field I planted, and if you want to look at the leaves, 6-pack right here. Mikey, that's a 6-pack. 163 is what I weigh, just so everybody knows. Look at that. This corn is tall. Getting tall, tall, tall. Very pretty. I guess that'll give you a better thing. Right there. There you go. Now remember, that's 6-pack. But looks good. Looks really, really good. I don't know if I can do a... There you go. That's pretty. And it's like that throughout the whole field, but I'm not walking it. So, looks good though. Now the vetch corn is back there. This right here was no-till. Well, I guess minimum till. We ran a turbo over at one time. So, but looks good. Looks really, really good. I don't know if I can do a... There you go. That's pretty. And it's like that throughout the whole field, but I'm not walking it. So, looks good though. Now the vetch corn is back there. This right here was no-till. Well, I guess minimum till. We ran a turbo over at one time. So, but looks good. Hey, good morning. So I haven't videoed in a while. I did manage to get the combine out yesterday and washed it. I didn't video that. And I came over across town and sprayed this farm. And I did notice that roughly 20 acres of the beans, we must have got like a 2-inch rain after I planted them. And they're up, I'll show you, in a couple little spots. I think the field got a little drowned in because they came up good everywhere, but in some of this right here is one of the low fields, and there's a low spot over here and a low spot over there that got kind of drowned out. So we decided to bring the planter over and replant about 20 acres over here. So that's what my job is today. And as you can see, there are beans, but they're just not pretty and thick enough like they should be on this. This field goes over that ditch, so I'm gonna redo this one and see how it goes. I'm just riding around checking some corn today, and this is a backfield on a really big farm. The highway is, I don't know, a mile and a half up there. That's how long this farm is. But this backfield, it goes around these woods all the way over. And you can see the hill, everything. Here's a sand hill. This is a sandy field. But this corn is the best it's ever looked. This is a Seed Consultant 108 day. And I did plant quite a bit of this year just because of what it looks like. Normally these in-rows, deer are just tearing it up. But I guess with the disease we had, we don't have too many deer. We do have some deer damage in some of the farms, but I mean, just look at the size of this corn. I mean, it's already chest high when you go out here. Very impressed with this field. This right here is a yield. This field right here is always a yield killer on this farm. Always. And as long as we can get some rain to keep it going, very happy. I mean, very happy. It's wet, so I'm not going to walk out there, but couldn't be happier. I did plant this farm. We had a little rain, and I planted it real early, this field. And I wish I had planted the rest of the farm at the same exact time, but I didn't. I planted it like a week or two later, week and a half later, I'd say. And I think I messed up because even though this corn up here looks good, that was the right time to plant it, was when I planted that field. I mean, it was perfect moisture in the ground, everything. It got dry on us about a week and a half later, and I planted this field. Now this field, it still looks good, don't get me wrong, but this right here is the money field. These right here are the big fields, and I mean, it looks good. It's just, you know, right around the woods here, the inrows are a little bit weaker, but they're still better than they normally are since we pushed a bunch of these woods back to get more sunlight. But this is it looks good, don't get me wrong. I mean, it looks damn good. Anybody would be happy to have it, but I just feel like if we had planted it at the same time that we had planted that backfield, this field right here would look a lot better. You know, it's a lot younger corn. Like I said, it's probably 2 weeks behind that corn, maybe longer. I think it was right around 2 weeks. I had planted a bunch of other corn from coming back to this farm. I actually came over this farm 3 times and planted. It looks good, it's even, looks pretty all the way across. It just, when I planted that backfield, it was the perfect time. I should have just kept right on the planter rolling and doing this whole farm. And it would have looked, I think it would just been better corn. Field that I just showed you. Here's another field that I planted about a week and a half later, and it actually looks better. We had got some rain That planter just seems like it either likes turbo-tilled fields or it likes nice, good, soft ground. It doesn't want any dry, hard dirt. But this field right here was a lot later planted. It looks, to me, it looks like it's caught up to it, or it looks as good. I know you can't really see it well, but. And then here's the bigger field. And don't get me wrong, it's pretty. It's pretty, I've just seen it better, you know. Timing is the key. I should have just stayed over here, and when I planted that backfield, I just should have stayed over here and just kept right on rolling, because it seemed like, man, that was the perfect time. Perfect ground. I mean, it was just perfect ground. The way the seed was going in, the trench, it just seemed like everything was working good with that backfield. I should have just stayed over here and did the front fields. But I didn't, so it is what it is now, I guess. But everything still looks good. We got some of our wheat there. And then here's a bunch of our other corn. And this corn right here I planted at the same time I did that little field. And that is some really nice corn. That's Agrigold, 115-day corn. I know I'm driving fast, but I'm down a highway, so I can't just stop. But this corn right here has been very impressive too. And it's got the Pivot Bio on it. So we'll see what it does. But it looks good anyway. I gotta get out of these people's way. Got some more wheat. It does have a little bit of ryegrass in it. I don't know why, but it does. But I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. I'm just doing my morning drive around. We did have some rain yesterday. We didn't probably get but a couple tenths out of it, but hey, it's something. Washed everything in good and pretty. There's some more of our corn. That's DeKalb, 112-day. We got school buses and everybody else this morning on all these roads. We gotta get over here and spray this corn. Must not have hit it right with the sprayer. But this is some pretty daggone corn too. This whole farm is DeKalb 112-day. I'm not a fan of DeKalb just because you can't spray Liberty on it. That way I don't have to clean my sprayer out when I'm spraying soybeans or the Liberty Link corn. DeKalb doesn't make a Liberty Link corn. I don't understand why. But looks good, looks good. Now I planted these two fields at the same time. They were about 3 weeks apart from the field I'm going to show you. Wheat back here, it's still got probably 3 weeks to go before it's ready. Now this corn back here is probably the prettiest DeKalb I've seen in a while. And these are another mile and a half fields. Now this right here is some pretty damn corn. I'll admit, some pretty corn. Took some Halex, smoked the weeds. But this is some pretty corn. Nice and even all the way through. That's the sunrise this morning. But I mean, you couldn't ask for better stands, and I mean, just the whole field all the way across is just perfect. And it goes way back to those woods and way over there, and then there's just a little field here, and then it's got our wheat all the way around it and all the way to the back. But yeah, really good looking corn. Very impressed with this. Now we're gonna see what the first field looks like at the home farm that I planted, because I showed you all that earlier, how good it looked. it's been looking. So we'll see what it does after this rain we had yesterday. It looks like all the corn, just even though it was a little bit of rain, it just turned it on. Of course, I had fed everything, put nitrogen down, and that little bit of rain washed it in perfect. It wasn't a big, hard, heavy rain. It washed the stuff off. It just, 45 minutes of just a real nice drizzle. So it kind of worked everything in pretty good. So we'll go check that out. Here's our vetch farm field. There's a lot of weed over there. Here's our vetch, one of our vetch fields. This is probably some of the last corn that was planted. It don't look bad. It's got a couple spots, like there was a wet spot from a lot of rain. I got replanted there. You can see the smaller corn coming up, but I doubt it's going to do anything. More wheat. Go up here to the first field I planted. Now this is some good looking corn. I mean, look at the difference from the other video I showed you the other day to now just getting the rain on it. I mean, it is turned on. This is Seed Consultant 108 day. I mean, I'm really impressed with this corn. What I like about this corn is it has really big leaves on it. Soaks in a lot of sun, a lot of water. I mean, huge leaves. Last year, remember, we planted it on the farm. I showed you with the 112 day that I just was over there. Now, this right here, that thing had huge leaves. And that was the farm that we planted it on. And it was actually our best yielding corn. So that's why we went back with quite a bit of it this year. We did get some of it with Pivot Bio on the seed, but it's got huge leaves, and I like that. Seems like that helps the moisture, draw the moisture in or soak it in or something. I don't know what it does, but it really seems like it helps shade the ground out a lot better. I mean, look at that. Look at them big leaves, how they just cover that ground right up. I mean, that's what you want right there. Just huge leaves, look at them. Very impressed. That's a big field. This right here might be the corn growers contest field right here. We'll see. Got some beans left to spray. Did get some replant done yesterday. So it's Friday, what is it, June 7th? Is that the day today, June 7th? But we're not gonna do anything today. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday. Our neighbor said he got a half an inch. Fat boy Mikey said we got a half an inch of rain. I thought we only got a couple tenths. He probably got more at his house. But I did ride by and the ditches were full on a couple of the farms. I think some farms got good rain. Some farms got a little bit of rain, but it was enough rain that it got this corn jumping. As you saw, I fed all the corn. That little bit of rain was perfect to wash it in. It just turned on. I mean, the corn looks awesome now. Can't complain one bit. Beans look good. The only problem we have now is groundhogs. And we got to get the groundhog killer here. Get him motivated so he can go start taking them out. So, that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, share. See you.